Hey everybody, my name is Sharon Quinn and I'm also known as the original runway diva, and you are watching Model Behavior. Class is officially in session. Today my guest is plus model, pioneer, and lifestyle blogger and actress Lisa Scott. Welcome, Lisa, to Model Behavior.
Thank you for having me, and I'm so proud of you. And I love the show.
Thank you. Well, let me just, I've been a fan for a long time. I can remember to this day the first time that I saw you, and it was, I can't remember the date, but I think it was like the late 80s, and I saw you in a fashion show at, not FI, Parsons, and you had to be, I think you told me you were 19 years old, you were modeling belts.
That was my first fashion show, and I was so nervous. I think I ran down the runway and turned around and ran back because
I saw you, and I was like, I saw you, and I was like, I want to do this. I thought you, and I think now that you get even more beautiful with time, but I saw you, and I was like, oh, wow. So now, I credit you with being a pioneer.
Thank you.
Because I came in when it was just starting to blossom. They didn't really know what they were doing, but good things were happening for a lot of people. So tell us a little bit about your experience back then as opposed to now.
Back then, everything was so new. The agencies were new. All of the girls, the models were new. When I came in, I mean, a seasoned, established model maybe had 2 years in the game, 4 years at the most at tops. So we were all learning. And back then, what was so wonderful for me is because I was with a small boutique agency, a new agency, she grabbed us up and she did class, sort of like what you're doing now. What this information you are giving the girls is priceless. You have to be educated going into this business. And she would have a weekly class at the agency, teach us how to carry a model bag, how to carry ourselves, how to look, what to wear. All of these things, and it instilled in me, and that is how I became a really, really successful model, is because I had that training. And I think nowadays the girls want to do what they want to do. They don't get the difference between Instagram modeling and and modeling for magazines and editorial. And I heard you say it before. I mean, I'm on Instagram, as you know, and I love products and lipsticks and all of that stuff, and purple lips on Instagram, but when you go see a client, it's clean, and they all think, well, a lot of them think they could still buck the system and do what they want to do.
Because everyone thinks that they're the exception to the rule, and it's just like, you show up at my casting with blue lipstick on, you done already talked yourself out of this job. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. They just don't get it. So when I seen you doing this show, I said, leave it to Sharon Quinn. Leave it to the master to, this is a force to be reckoned with, and I really love what you're doing. One of the things, when you asked me to come on this show, and I was thinking about what do I want to talk to the girls about, I want the girls to identify, what do you really want out of this business? I always looked at this as a business about making money, and that's how I was successful, because I treated it as a business. I wasn't involved in cliques and gossip and all that stuff. Some girls now just want to be in a magazine, and they're satisfied.
Just want to be a model for one brand.
One brand, or, oh, you're a model, you're in a magazine, I've seen you in a campaign, and I want to be on a poster or something like that. There's so much more to it. And if you really want to be in this business, immerse yourself in the business. There is so many ways to make money in this business.
Oh, come on now.
Oh my God, we have fit, we have showroom, we have runway. I mean, there's so many things you can do. If I wasn't working, if I wasn't in front of the camera, I was doing stand-in work. I was doing extra work. I always found a way to make money in this business, and I didn't get caught up on, I have to be an editorial model.
Oh my God, and so many people want to do that, but only a small percentage of models can do that. And I learned early on, hey, this right here, this is what's going to make me money.
Exactly.
I'm not an editorial model, and I knew that going in. You got to know
and it
what your
actually is a
strengths are.
blessing. It's a blessing to be a commercial model. And they don't even know that the commercial models are who make the most money. Aside from fit.
Yeah.
Aside from fit. And they don't even understand the difference between commercial print and editorial print, and how it's a blessing for someone to say to you, you're commercial. You're commercial. Everyone wants to be exotic. And you don't have to be exotic. Catalogs, that's where the money is. That's where the money is.
Are they still doing that? Because I mean, there used to be a lot more catalogs. You used to be inundated with them, but you don't see it as much as you used to. And I used to do the Ames and Kmart and all those ads. Did I like the pictures? No, but that money was cute. Okay?
I remember one of my girlfriends, my model girlfriend said, you know, Wanda, she said, I use it to line my cat litter box. I mean, because that's how bad it was. But we treated it as a business. We were worried about the check. And that's what it's about. To me, it's a business.
And that's what it should be. But bump being an editorial model,
exactly.
You want to go where the money is. So if I'm going to pay you to stand and try on clothes and get your measurements taken for 2 hours, and I'm paying you $150, $200 an hour, why would you not take that?
And models don't understand that. If you get booked for a job like Glamour Magazine, Essence Magazine, Vogue magazines, those magazines are paying like $150 for the day, for the whole day, because they're giving you fabulous tear sheets, you're working with fabulous stylists, makeup artists, photographers that you couldn't have booked on your own and couldn't have hired on your own. So that doesn't pay a lot of money. And I think they got the business twisted. They see the glamour of it, but they don't know the work that really goes into it. And booking a steady client, a catalog client, like we used to work for Catherine's all the time. Take us away on trips, on cruises, 7-day cruises, and we're getting paid even when we're not working on those off days.
There you go.
That's what it was about. Another thing that I really want to say, I want to tell one of my secrets, my best kept secrets, to the girls who are starting today.
Okay.
Ladies, if you are working right now and you're just starting out, I don't care if you're an established model, I don't care if you're just starting out, testing. Testing is so important. Your photographs have to be, you have to be a chameleon. You have to be a chameleon. I went on a casting, very, very big magazine, and I was showing my book. There was another model's portfolio right there next to me. The two people that I was seeing, they were having a conversation back and forth. The girl was drop dead beautiful. Her book was still there. She wasn't there. But they said, I'm going to book Lisa because it was versatility in my portfolio. And they said she looked the same in every single picture.
Yep.
And ladies, it's not about how beautiful you are. It's not about how long your hair is. It's not about any of that stuff. It's about how you photograph. The camera has to love you. And I think a lot of girls are, you know, like, oh, I'm being looked over, I'm being slept on, and I'm prettier than she is, you know, and all of that kind of stuff, and they don't get it. It has to translate through the camera.
There you go.
The camera has to pick up all of this beauty. And be a chameleon. Don't be afraid to change. If an agency asks you to cut your hair, if they ask you to put on a wig, I know how you feel about that.
Hey, you know, I've worn wigs before. I don't have a problem, but they make me hot now.
Yeah.
But, you know, I wore lots of wigs.
You have to be open to changing. Stop being so stuck.
Let me just stop you for a minute, because you said if your agency says cut your hair, cut your hair. But don't cut your hair until they tell you to do that.
Until they tell you to cut your hair. Okay. Don't color your hair like I did and make it auburn, bright red, because I thought I was going to be the only African-American model working with red hair. And I didn't work, okay? I got a few jobs, but I really didn't work. So you have to listen. You have to listen. And when you are testing, my secret was, when I was modeling and getting a lot of work, the lines are already ready. The spring line, like right now, these people are thinking winter. If it was summer, I was shooting winter. If it was winter, I was shooting spring, because I knew they are looking for new faces to launch the line. If it's a new spring campaign, that's what they want to see. They don't want to see us in heavy coats and stuff. And it was a great thing that I always did that always got me booked. And another thing is, ladies, it's a competitive business. make sure your book is current and can compete with what's out here.
Ooh.
And I don't understand why they don't know what to do, because all of the successful working models are on Instagram and they're sharing their work with us. So you want to aspire to do what they do.
The thing is, and because I see this all the time. We just had a major casting. We had the New York City casting.
Oh, yeah.
For Full Figure Fashion Week. And I had written a post on my Facebook page about how I was going through pictures and narrowing it down to the last 100 girls. And from there, I had to do 50. A lot of people, one chick wrote back in the inbox saying, well, I just wanted to let you know that when I was waiting outside, I had my comp card and I had a headshot and a body shot. I was told I had to pick between the two, to either give you the comp card or the headshot and the body shot. And my comp card didn't have a full body shot on it. So I'm thinking to myself, first of all, this is a stupid conversation. Second of all, why didn't you give me the 2 strongest pictures that you had? If you knew the 2 photos were stronger than the comp card, why give me the comp card?
Exactly.
It's common sense. And everybody thinks that they're going to be the one to buck the trend. And they make a lot of mistakes.
They're going to break the rules. And there's a time and place to buck the system, so to speak. I mean, even I have had experiences with, a lot of people don't know. They see a lot of the good in my career, but they don't understand a lot of things that I went through that were not so good. At one of my agencies, the biggest agencies that I was with, an agent came aboard, very, very powerful, and he felt that I was not, I was too overweight to be sent out like the other models. So I would find out where the casting would be, and I would go, and I would get booked, and I felt that I was fighting an uphill battle, and that's why I left. And I mean, I think I'm probably one of the only models that could say they left a top agency on their own. But I got more work. You did? You did? I got more work actually managing myself and stop fighting against someone who thought I wasn't good enough.
And that's a brave thing to do, because a lot of them, they want to be signed with an agency. So they'll sign with a booty agency just to say that they have an agent.
Just say they have an agency.
And then they think that if they walk away from that and maybe freelance and hustle on their own, they're not going to get any jobs. Which is, it's ridiculous. That just shows that you don't have faith in what you can do and your own abilities.
You have to believe in yourself, in your abilities. And the reports he would get back on me is, I'm an excellent model. I'm a good model. It was to a point where the people were calling in. I would go for castings, and they're like, Lisa, they told me you weren't modeling anymore, or they told me this and that. And I'm like, what? I had people were even contacting me at home. So you have to basically know when to hold and know when to fold, so to speak. And if an agency is not working for you, you have to leave.
And it's okay to do that.
And it's okay to do that. I booked some of my biggest jobs after leaving the biggest
and I know what you're talking
agency.
About, right?
Yes, the biggest agency around. I booked some of my best work commercials I started getting into, because I opened myself up to, you know what? I'm going to do some other stuff. I'm going to get me some trade papers. I'm going to reach out and freelance with some other TV agents. I'm going to do some more and open myself up to doing more things that I wasn't doing, where I was kind of stuck, only doing basically model work with that agency.
So you made that transition into acting?
And that's when I really made my transition into commercials and acting. I actually had never really took it serious until I actually left the agency. I left the agency. But it was something that I had to do. I don't ever regret it, because it just, my career kind of exploded after leaving there, because your life, your model and your career shouldn't be, your career as a model shouldn't be a struggle every single day. You have to have some enjoyment, and you have to have some peace in what you're doing, to put out good work. Your mind has to be right, and you can't be worried about, oh, you get too caught up in negative stuff, people thinking you're not good enough.
So you can't believe what other people think of you. RuPaul says that what other people think of him is none of his business.
Exactly.
And I agree with that. You can't listen to that. But I agree that if you the chemistry between the model and the agency.
It has to click.
It has to be there.
It has
and
to.
if it
has
isn't,
to be there.
this is not the agency for you. I don't care how big the name is.
It doesn't matter because you'll just sit there on the board. I mean, it was to a point where I was like, well, where's this client I used to work for every week? And where's this client at? And where's this client? And then I figured it out, and I was like, you know, this is ridiculous. I have to move on. I have to move forward, and it was the best thing. So I just want to say to girls, don't be afraid. Have no fear. Be fearless. Be fearless, and just do what you have to do to be successful, because it is a business, and it's a dog-eat-dog business, as you already know. And really, really competitive, but to find yourself, find joy, identify what you really want to do in this business, and you will be successful. And have belief in yourself. I can't say that enough. You have to have that inner self-esteem and confidence in yourself that you can do what your counterparts are doing. And that's another thing. When I was modeling, I was looking at not what the plus-size models were doing. I was in the magazine looking at what Naomi was doing, Linda, and all of those girls. That's what I was doing. So I was trying to duplicate what they were doing in my photographs.
And you threw out the word chameleon quite a few times. And when I think of chameleon, you're the first person that comes to mind, because I've looked at your body of work over the years, and it amazes me how you are just able to transform and become whatever it is you want to become. And that's the key to being a successful model. You have to be, because, you know, modeling is half acting, if not more. You have to be able to transform and become whatever that designer or whatever that producer needs you to become. And that was your mantra. That was Lisa Scott. Look at Lisa Scott as what's her name? Josephine Baker. Remember we were doing the Bell shoots?
Oh my God, yes.
So
much fun. Oh my God.
How long have you modeled? You've been doing
I'm going to tell you, I stopped counting because it's been that many years. I mean, the agency that I was talking about, I think I was with them for like 14 years.
Yeah, you stayed there for a
14 years.
long time.
Yeah.
Do you have any agency nightmare stories?
Because
we all have them.
Actually, the first one, I forgot. The first one. The first one, girls, I was green, I was new. I had did a commercial with this agent, and I walked up there one day, the receptionist said, hey, I got a check for you. And I said, well, you got a check for me? And I said, yeah. It said something like $300 dollars residuals from a commercial. And I went home and I said, Ma, 19 years old, look at my check. And my mother looked at it and she said, it says down here that you made $23,000 to this date. Where is it? So she was keeping all of the residuals and money, and I had to fight to get my money. And as you know, anybody who's in the business, as long as we do, what happened with that? That was a fiasco. The agent ended up,
Did she go to jail?
Unfortunately, because she did it to a lot of models. And so those things happen, and that is why I'm so big on education. And how could you not be educated nowadays? Just go on the internet. All of the articles, I always say, Google Sharon Quinn articles on Plus Model Magazine. The information is right there. I mean, we came in, we didn't know anything.
Yeah, and you know what I learned during when I had to go back and sue that agent who was taking other people's money as it came in. He would take, say, my money and use my money to pay somebody else whose money he had blown. And the key to me winning my case and getting all of my money back was, now, I'm not the most organized. I have my own little system that works for me. But every voucher that I had signed, I had all the information there, and I kept it in a folder. I just threw it in there. And that was the key to me getting all of my money back. I had every piece of paper I had ever signed. I called the client up, and I found out that I wasn't getting paid for usage. People don't even know what that is anymore.
Exactly.
I didn't get paid for usage. I didn't get paid for a lot of stuff. And I took all that stuff to the mediator, only to have the agent walk in and say, well, yeah, I do owe her all this money.
Yeah. Very important to keep.
But I got it back.
Your records.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be your own business person.
Oh, yeah. And that's a really, really weird story for me, because that actual agent is the one who started my career. She's the one who's seen it in me. But and I credit her for that, because I mean, I walked in there, as you know, with graduation headshots, and she took me on board. But at the same token, she did that. So it's a love-hate story.
Well, but it's a lesson learned.
It's a lesson
Because I bet that never
learned.
happened to you again.
Absolutely not. But I have to say, all of the agencies I worked with after that were so on board, so on point, and weren't about that. They were very fair to the models. So.
Now, you still modeling, Lisa?
A little. I still get calls. It's unbelievable, even to this day. My passion now, as you know, is blogging.
Right.
TheShoppingSlayer.com. TheShoppingSlayer.com. And that's my passion, because that's what I love to do. I love cosmetics. I love products and lipsticks and plus-size fashion and all of that. So that's what I'm doing now.
So how did you transition from modeling into blogging?
Well, what happened was, one of my clients called me and asked me to review some clothing. And she said, she was looking for some girls, some bloggers, and I didn't know anything about blogging and all of this. And she said, I just want to review it so we can send it back to the manufacturer. She knew that I modeled and I did fit work for her. And just let me know your true, honest opinion on the clothing. And I was like, I could do this. And they paid me too. I said, of course I can do this. And then I started familiarizing myself with Instagram and blogging and all. And I said, I like this. This is right up my alley. This is what I do. Anybody who's known me for all these years, that's what I do. I love, love, love plus-size fashion. Even aside, whether I had never been a model or anything, I love plus-size fashion. I accept myself as a plus-size woman. I'm confident in being a plus-size woman. Of course, I'm always working on my weight, but I just think that, as anybody knows, I always say on my YouTube channel, I just think plus-size women are beautiful.
Oh, yes.
I just think we're beautiful. I think it's something about us. If we walk into a room, we just make
light it up,
we
baby.
light it up. We make a statement. You know,
particularly if you're a fly plus-size woman with confidence, because confidence is key. That comes from
really is.
Loving yourself, because if you love you, that's what's going to come out,
and
baby.
It has to exude. When I went on my castings and my go-sees, I went in confident. I went in like, I know I can book this job. I know you want to use me. And I think that really what helped me get the booking is that I went in there confident. It's all about confidence.
But it's also the amount of attention that you put into your craft.
Right.
The testing, the repeated testing. Your book was always current.
Always
current. A lot of
current.
these chicks don't understand what current is. You can't come to I give a casting in 2014.
Yeah.
And you come back in 2015 and you give me the same pictures. But you think I'm not going to notice that. We do.
And they don't understand that it helps you get better and stronger in front of the camera. You should constantly be testing, constantly, not only for current pictures, but to just keep yourself really, really, really comfortable in front of that camera, because the camera picks up everything.
Yes, it does.
Picks up all of the uncomfortableness when we're moving around. It picks all of that up. And you know what? A test can really change your career. It can. I think I went to Ford. The first time I went to Ford, they didn't take me. So I started testing again. And my pictures got better. They got stronger. And when I went back to them, they were like, and like I said, I tried to mimic a photo that I seen of Naomi Campbell. And I did a good job doing it. And they said, wow. And then that's when they offered me a contract and signed me. So a test can change your career. Rather, even if you're established and you're not working and you're trying to figure out why, test.
And generally, you're not working because your card isn't strong
Your
enough.
card isn't strong. And
So
look at the girls that are out
when you
here,
test,
they're strong.
You save up your money. Get a job. If you don't have one, I don't know. I can't say that enough. If you don't have a job, get one, because you're going to need it so you can test. Save up your money to test with really good photographers.
I'm all about, you have to spend money to make money.
Come on,
and I done spent a ton of money keeping my book strong when I was really, really actively modeling. And it's so important. You are competing. Look at these girls that are out here now. They are fabulous, and you have to keep up.
Yep.
You have to keep up. You can't come in, like you said, with pictures from 2011.
And think that the casting people are not going to know. They're going to know.
And the other girl just came from Europe last week, South Africa, testing. And there's no comparison, so you have to test. And you know, when you test and you do good work, other photographers see that, and they say, man, I want to work with her. You know, top photographers, stylists, they want to work with you. So it's important to test. Testing, honey, is everything in this business, and I mean everything.
And I can't, you know, I'm glad you're saying I can't reiterate that enough, because
Yeah.
it doesn't, for what, it doesn't get through. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I got 3 kids. Well, maybe you should rethink this for right now.
Exactly.
Because you need money to do this. And
You have to have coin.
yeah, you
must
can't,
have coin.
You can't cut corners.
You
You
can't.
can't hire your own personal stylist. I had Stephanie Allen in here talking about it. And I remember my first test shoot with Wilhelmina. Boy, did I jack up the pictures thinking that I could pull clothing and style myself. It was horrible.
And that's also, you're going to test and you're not going to get the images that you want. That's why you got to keep testing.
Well, I didn't get one.
Every test is not going to be successful.
I didn't get
We
one.
test, we fail, and we got to do it again. And you know, we look at the pictures and be like, oh my God. And retest. That's why you have to have money.
It's an investment, yeah.
It's an investment. You have to have a nice couple of thousand tucked away for this career.
She said
and
thousand,
even more. Even more
people.
Than, even more
and
than
probably
thousands.
more than that. Stack your chips.
Stack your
get
chips.
your weight together. Get your skin together. Get your head together. And then come in and try to do this. Don't come with $100 budget, because you're going to get $100 worth of pictures and you're probably not going to get any work off of that. So
$100, I could take your picture with my iPad. That's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get. It's just, it's a difference between us taking pictures on Instagram and professional shoots, professional photographs. It's a huge difference.
Lisa Scott, I so love you. Thank you so much for coming and sharing all of this knowledge with us today. We're almost out of time. But before I go, I want to tell all you people, I want to leave you with a few thoughts like I always do. 1, remember to always surround yourself with positive people and positive things. 2, remember you can't change the game until you first learn the game. And 3, do what you love and love what you do. My name is Sharon Quinn. You have been watching Model Behavior, and we will see y'all next Saturday at 11:30 sharp, okay? Remember to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks for watching. Class is officially dismissed. Bye, y'all.
Yay! Awesome.